I'm going to share an absolutely mortifying story with you. This is my life story, how I became a dairy salesman and how I betrayed my own vegan ethics at the very core of my being. This is my life story from 2009 until present day, 2025. Hopefully, this story inspires you and helps you understand the power of being in alignment with our life and the hard lessons that come when we are out of alignment in our life. Alignment has been the primary focus of my life, and the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, has massaged me into alignment in my life. I don't know if it's just my destiny or because I'm a courageous warrior of truth. Nonetheless, I have tried and tried and tried to get deeper into alignment, peeling back the layers of the onion. And this is my life story. I'm going to start off back in 2009 when I started my very first business. It was called Funk and Flash. It was a retail costume and clothing store. It was the apple of my eye. It was my absolute baby. It was my first business. I put my heart and soul into that business. I had great success with that business. And from the first year I opened, 2009, until 2012, for 3 years in a row, I had really great success and the revenue grew. And my top year in 2012, I hit $600,000 in revenue with my costume clothing store. And it felt really great. But something terrible started to happen. After 2012, the revenue started to decline a little bit. In 2013, I was like, oh no, we had a down year. And then 2014, it was down more. And then 2015, it was down even more. I had to scramble and downsize my life. I had to move out of my house. I didn't have money to pay my employees. I had to fire on my whole staff. And it became a horrible experience. I actually became very despairing. And I sold my clothing store because I became over leveraged and it was just, I was going deeper into debt. And I became so sad and I became so lost in my despair of losing Funk and Flash that I said to myself, well, what do people want? If they're not coming in and supporting my costume clothing store, what do they want? And I had heard Wim in the grapevine, I'd heard that the ice cream shop in town was making $3 million a year. And I was like, ice cream is making $3 million a year. People just want sugar. People just want dairy. I decided to take the revenue from selling my Funk and Flash clothing store and starting a frozen yogurt business about a mile up the street. I was like about a mile away from the ice cream shop. I was like, I'm going to just sell people what they want, dairy and sugar. I was a vegan, ethical vegan for many years of my life. Deciding to sell dairy was something that was coming from a very out of aligned, sad, lost place. I was so sad that I had to lose my business. And out of that decision, I decided to sell dairy and sugar. Well, there was a very hard lesson that I had to learn in selling dairy and sugar. And that was because I hated my frozen yogurt business. It was profitable. I started it. I had teenagers working there. I had all the toppings spread out. I had 3 or 4 machines, and it was very expensive. Very expensive to start the store. I had 3 or 4 frozen yogurt machines with the different flavors, right? I had the whole thing. People would come in with their kids and they'd load up on sugar and dairy. I even had a coloring station for kids in the frozen yogurt shop, so the families could come in and they could eat the sugar and get all wired on the sugar and the crappy dairy and then color. And then I'd put up all the colored pictures up on the wall and I'd try to make it family friendly. But you know what? I hated it. And I knew I needed to do something different. At that time, I heard wind of coaching. I heard wind of a coach who was teaching people how to create aligned soul purpose businesses, how to become a coach. And I caught wind of it and I became interested. And I went to a seminar, a conference in Southern California, in Los Angeles. And I couldn't afford it at the time. My business was new. The frozen yogurt business was new. And I was right on the edge. The monthly electrical cost to run my frozen yogurt shop was about $5,000 a month. Okay, to run the machines. It was very expensive. That month, I was so Out of alignment, I thought, I'm going to take the $5,000 from the electrical bill and I'm going to go to Southern California and learn about coaching because I need to do something different. I was at my wit's end. I was in despair. Okay. When I was in Southern California, the power got shut off at my business for non payment. And all the yogurt that I had, all the thousands and thousands of dollars of yogurt material in the back, in the fridges, all went bad because the power went out and I didn't have the money to pay for the power to get back on. It was like 2 weeks later when I could finally get the power back on at the place. And I went into the back and the refrigerators had gone off and pumping heat into the yogurt, and the yogurt exploded and was rotten, and it was all over the back. It was all over the floor. I'm not kidding. Thousands of dollars of frozen yogurt product fermented, rotting on the floor. The smell was so incredibly bad. You walked into that place and it was just this permeated, rotting animal smell. I had to clean it all up. It was such a hard lesson. I smelled like rotting yogurt for weeks. It was in my pores, it was in my skin and my hair, and I washed my clothes and it still smelled, and the laundry smelled like rotting yogurt. It was one of the hardest lessons of my life. I lost that frozen yogurt business. I went into debt. Yep. That led me to realize it's not enough to create a business out of spite. It's not enough to sell people dairy and sugar because you're mad, because you're sad, because you're heartbroken. We have to align with our spiritual business. This was when I finally had a major epiphany. Through the incredible hard lesson of smelling like rotting yogurt for weeks, I realized the final alignment for me. I had to get into a final alignment, which was I need to do a spiritual led business. I can't be out of alignment. So, what is that spiritual alignment for me? I need to help people go vegan. I aligned back with my vegan ethics and my vegan roots. Boy, that was a hard lesson to learn, you know? But here I am today. I've been vegan total in my life for strict vegan for 20 years, okay? And I've been fully raw vegan for the last 8 years. And I help people go vegan now. I help people learn about detoxification of their body and health and healing. I've been on my vegan journey since I was a teenager. And yes, I had a very horrible time of betrayal of my own ethics, but it led me to be one of the most powerful and influential raw vegan coaches in the world. Today, I have over 5,000 people in my group coaching program, Raw Vegan Heroes, and it's helped me align. The extreme misalignment and the hardship and the hard lessons that come with that helped me align. Now, if you're having hard lessons in your life, if life is hard, you're out of alignment. You need to create spiritual alignment for yourself. So I lifted the glass ceiling off of my life and I said, what's the highest value that I can bring? I want to be a coach. I want to help people. I want to get paid for who I am and what I know and my passion to help animals. This is really what I need to do. So, my breakthrough was realizing that I had to step into something unknown. I had to stretch past my comfort zone and become a coach. And that's what I did. In 2017, I started my Raw Vegan Rising business. I started making YouTube videos, and people started to ask if they could work with me. I started taking on private clients, and then I launched Raw Vegan Heroes in 2019. For the last 5 years, I've been building Raw Vegan Heroes with over 5,000 members now. I generate about $70,000 a month in my coaching business. In 2024, I generated $850,000 in my raw vegan coaching business. This is the highest revenue I've ever generated in any business. The alignment has finally spoken. God is shining down on me. The alignment has given me that final breakthrough that I've been asking for my whole life. Now I've become a millionaire. I have over $1 million in my savings account, my retirement account. I'm going to be retiring soon at 52 years old because the alignment for me over the last 5 years running Raw Vegan Heroes has been incredible. Now, Raw Vegan Heroes is a membership, and I recommend people learn about the power of a membership to generate revenue and to get into spiritual alignment with their soul purpose business. This is what I teach now. I started my business Mastermind 2 years ago in June of 2023. I started my business Mastermind to help pay it forward, to help people learn how to get into alignment, to get out of those hard lessons, and to start a membership. So I recommend a membership for people who are practitioners, who have a passion, who just want to have more time freedom, money freedom, and location freedom. A membership creates recurring revenue. So you build a foundation of subscription revenue, and it is life changing. Like I said, I generate about $70,000 a month in my business. It has set me free financially, and it will for you too. And in my business mastermind, I help support all the members and I pay it forward. It's my group coaching program for business mentorship. I highly recommend you join my business mastermind and let me help you find that alignment, get out of that struggle, because I understand when life gets hard, the hard lessons. My rotten yogurt story really taught me how important it is to be in spiritual alignment. We don't pursue businesses for money. We pursue it for alignment, for soul purpose work. And it taught me the importance of realigning with my ethical vegan roots. And so, whatever your roots are in your life, your passion, your purpose, your hopes, your dreams, turn it into a membership. And I'll show you how. We start by building an email list, finding our hyper niche, solving a problem for people, and having a low cost offer. My membership started at $14.99 a month, and I recommend that for you. Start with a $10 a month membership, maybe a $5 a month membership, and I'll show you how to do that. And as you build the foundation, you're going to realize this is the path to freedom. In my business mastermind, we have 150 members currently. It's a powerful group, but it's small and intimate. Every week we meet on Zoom and you get direct coaching with me on Zoom. I do not give a generic course. There's no downloads, there's no video course to follow. This is mentorship one-on-one with me. I give you direct coaching, private support, next steps, homework assignments. I get into the puzzle of your life and your business and your revenue, and I help you grow it. And this is my passion and my service work now, so I can pay forward everything that I've learned. Now, we have every Zoom recording has ever been recorded. It's in a replay library. I recommend you come into the mastermind and just watch the Zoom replays. Just watching the Zoom replays over the last 2 years will teach you everything you need to know about how to align with a soul purpose business and start a membership. It's absolutely incredible. And it's important that we invest in mentorship. There's no way to go from where we are to where we want to be without mentorship. Investing in mentorship is the most important thing. And that's what I did. I diverted the power bill from my rotten yogurt business to my coach, and I learned how to be a coach. And that was just the beginning. I spent 5 years with my coach. And if you invest with me, I'll be invested with you. My 6-month business mastermind is $2,997 to work with me for 6 months, one-on-one mentorship. Okay. And that's just the beginning. I recommend you spend 2 years with me. I'll show you how to get to 6 figures a year in your business. Absolutely so easy. I hit 6 figures in my membership in my 2nd year in business. How about that? And now I'm at close to $1 million. So if I can do it, you can do it, but you need that breakthrough. You need to understand how to align with your soul purpose work, what your hyper niche is, how you're going to help people, how to create a low cost offer, how to build an email list. And this is what we focus on in my business mastermind. So the link is below. You can learn more about how I support people with business and this coaching membership that I provide to help you thrive at the highest level. Okay, click on the link, read everything that's included. If you have a question for me, you can send me a text message or email me or connect with me on social media. I go out of my way to help people every single day. This story was how I became a dairy salesman and betrayed my roots, my vegan ethics, and how I had some serious hard lessons in my life that led to the final alignment, my spiritual breakthrough that helped me create the best, most incredible business of my life that set me free, made me a millionaire, and it's given me my retirement account so I could retire to Mexico any day now. But instead of retiring, I'm providing this value for you and paying it forward to help you thrive at the highest level, to help your income, your business, to help you get aligned. Okay. I hope this was helpful, everybody. Much love. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you in the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.